Hi, thank you for joining me. Today I want to demonstrate how to make these planter boxes. I'm not sure how long this box is. This is one that's unfinished. It only needs the sides on it, the short ends on it. I'm going to demonstrate it using repurposed wood. So these are a few pieces that I have had left over, and they're going to form the base. The walls, however, will be made out of repurposed privacy fence, as you can see. I'll tell you first of all, pick and choose which pieces you use. I didn't want the pieces that had some mold on it, so I just that's why you see there's a pile of it over there, because I'm going through it. I don't want the pieces with the green mold on it or any kind of, this bottom piece will be cut off. But you can pick and choose. And these pieces look really great, but when I flip them over, they have green on them, and I just don't want to use them. It is a personal choice. Now, since we're repurposing, you see these nails, some of them are straight, and so we'll pull those out and use those also. So what you'll need is a work area, a surface to work on. You need something to make marks. This is an old permanent marker, but the pencil lead is much better. This little Wonder Bar is makes it easier to pull those nails out. A sturdy hammer and something to measure with. This is a tape measure or yardstick. It's best to use a pair of gloves because you want to avoid getting splinters in your hand. You'll also need something to cut with, and the best way to make cuts is with the miter saw. If you don't have one of those, then get one of the handheld ones. I'm going to use an electrical one. It makes much better cuts, and it makes it faster. Okay, so for demo purposes, because I'm at the point now of assembling them, I did all of these at one time. I picked out a piece of board, took one of the 2x4x8 pieces and lined it up. What I'm going to do is make it flush on this edge and flush on that edge, because I should have my gloves on, but that's okay. Once you make it flush on those edges, then you make a mark on both ends, and that's where you'll be cutting at. So I will fast forward because I'm at the point of assembling. The one thing I will tell you is to measure twice, cut once. And what I did the least amount of cutting as possible as I needed. What I'm going to do is just put it flush. Put this board flush with this one and nail it. And the other one will go on this side. So I need, and this is what I did after I cut the two boards, I placed them side by side. Excuse me, and then take the measurement from the end of this board to the end of this board. Doing so will give you an accurate measurement for the width. You don't have to actually measure it that way, and then just take you can measure it on your tape measure, or measure it directly on another piece of board, which I had a spare piece, and I'll show you that. This was a spare piece that I cut off. I'm not going to use this. But once I lined these three up, I took the spare piece and made it flush with this edge. Once I made it flush with this edge here, I took my marker and marked on the inside where this board touched. And that's my accurate measurement there. Now, another great thing is number your boards. So you'll have 3 boards 3 long ends with the same number, and then this flat piece, and then 2 short ends. I didn't number the short ends. That was okay. I cut them all the same because that part didn't matter. What's going to matter is the length of the long edge, and so number them. So I would have 1, 1, 1, and when I cut them, I just dump them all in a pile. And when I get ready to assemble them, which I am now, I just grab the ones that have the same number. Okay, I have a stack of boards here. These have all been cut, and these are all the sides. I have pulled out all of the boards that are numbered with the number 4 on them. Camera's a little funky the way the angle is. I'm running from the sun and attempting to do the video. So I have all my old used nails that I pulled out of the old boards, and what I do is I really just tack 3 nails, 1 on each end, and I tack 1 in the middle, and then if I want to reinforce them later, I will. But I find it's easier to add a nail to tack these to the large 2x4. I'm not going to let you have all that noise, but I'm going to attach it to both of these, and then I'll come back and show you how I attach it to this one. Okay, now I'm going to attach this 2x4. I want the number 4 on the bottom, just my own preference. So when I'm rearranging these, or when I'm planning out in them, I'll know which planter. I don't have to do that. I can just write the name on them again. I'm going to line it up to one edge here, this edge, and the bottom. Tack that on. And then slide it down slightly and do the middle. Or the far end, depends on how it's lining up. These boards are, the reason I say it depends on how it's lining up, because these boards are slightly warped because they've been used. Most of them have. Some of these haven't, but they were just not good enough to use on the fence itself. You can see, excuse me, that side is done. And now I'll flip it over. Remember, I've already put the nails in these. So all I have to do is hold it on this edge and the bottom edge, flush, and drive the nail in to hold it on. I'm really giving the camera a run for its money today. I'm not worried about how straight everything is. I just, if it's slightly off here on this edge, which is okay, because these are just my planter boxes. I'm not doing these for someone else. And that came out the bottom. And I don't want it to come straight out that bottom, so I'll use another nail in a slightly different area. And as you can see, it's not all the way flush to the edge. That's okay. And now what I'm going to do is attach these 2 pieces to the ends here, and that is slightly off. One of these pieces is longer than the other one, and that's okay. I'm just going to, now when I put the nail in, I'm only going to put it in the end of the 2x4. I'm not concerned with these two pieces here. I'm not going to attach the nail there because it may split. What I'm going to do is the same as what I did with the side pieces. I want you to be able to see this. With the side pieces, I'm going to drill a nail on both sides or both ends, not too close to the edge. And then I will attach it. Usually I'll stand this on end, but I want you to be able to see this. And the camera's the camera on a short stand. And I just broke it. So we'll use another piece. Okay. Here we go. These little square pieces, I cut a whole lot of those out because they're small and they easily splinter. And that's on there. If you want to, you can get some smaller nails. They have to be much smaller because of this board. This board is not going to take a lot. The large nails will splinter it. If it splinters it going this way, it definitely will split it going this way. So if you like, you can get a smaller nail, or you can use a piece of fabric and staple it here, and take it on, staple it here and here. So strap a piece of fabric across here, or leather or metal if you have it. If you do metal, you have to nail it. Okay, and then this is for the other end. It's slightly off here. So when I nailed it, I didn't adjust it correctly here. Oops. Nailing gently is better straight on. That came out the back. And this time I'm going to leave it. It came out down there. I'm going to leave it because this is going to be on the bottom and it's going to be sitting on the ground. I don't like that gap there. But if I pull these out and readjust it, it may mess it up. So that's pretty sturdy. I may just come with a strap here to keep my soil from coming out. And I will show you the box. Okay, so here is the finished product. And I couldn't resist leaving this gap there without nailing it at the top. So I took a skinny nail and nailed it at the top. And I don't need to make any adjustments because I forgot. I'm going to line these boxes with some plastic just in case there is something, just in case of material. This is pressure treated wood. Hopefully it's okay. But since I'm putting vegetables in here, I'm going to line them with plastic. I purchased some plastic to line these with. And the size of the box, as you can see, these are different sizes. The size of the box depends on the size of the 2x4 that I had laying around. And these will go straight out on the raised garden or on the ground near the raised garden. Thank you for joining me. Until next time. Here are some of the finished boxes. As you can see, they are different shapes, and that is because I'm using scrap wood.